Taking control of a difficult class can be very worrying, but with a strategic approach, some skills and some patience, you can create a positive and productive learning environment. The big but, of course, is that you've done all that strategic stuff, or most of it, and this class is still unmanageable. And worst of all, they're just not doing the work and making no progress at all in your subject. Annoyingly, they do behave and do the work in other teachers' lessons. However, you're not alone. There are other teachers who have problems with this class. By the way, pretty much every teacher has had such an experience, so remember, it's not you. Let's make sure we have a good handle on the strategic stuff first. You've planned a good lesson, you know how to be assertive, you've agreed and displayed a set of rules, you've made clear the choices between sanctions and rewards. You acknowledge and praise as often as possible. You use the school support system. Note here, there's a direct correlation between the level of poor behaviour and how well you've mastered the core skills. First, you need to be able to label in your head what is happening as behaviour occurs and deteriorates in the classroom. Being able to recognise different types of behaviour helps you to link it to an appropriate response. Disruptive talking, non-compliance, lack of focus, inattention, disengagement, late arrival, disrespect, aggression, refusal, out of seat, attention seeking, using phones, peer conflict, social dynamics are all possible labels you could use. It's probably some or all of these that are happening simultaneously and frequently, despite your praising, rewarding and sanctioning of individuals. But understanding what's happening in front and around you is a form of internal control in itself. You begin then by using a process for analysing the situation and then confidently, predictably and clinically deciding what you're going to do about it, if anything. A key difference between the teacher who appears in control and the one who isn't is the degree to which the students can predict the teacher's response, or indeed if there'll even be one. That's why the experienced teacher seems to be in control, and the new teacher or supply teacher is likely to have a tough time with the difficult class. Mistaken goals can complicate matters. There's often talk about teachers that students like and those they don't like. Students probably behave better if they like the teacher, and it does make it easier to have that trusting relationship which some students need. But paradoxically, in some ways, it's the teacher who won't go away or let the students fail that are the most popular in the end. Respect is what counts, so the teacher who stands in the classroom and demonstrates respect and understanding for the individuals it contains will soon gain respect in return and therefore get the attention they need. I have met many popular teachers who can't teach, and others motivated by power who frighten their pupils into a state of abject compliance in which neither party does much in the time they spend together. So to take control, think like a supply teacher, or as if you're meeting a known difficult class for the first time. You want to become predictable as quickly as possible. So, 1. Make sure you know the backup systems in the school and make it clear you're prepared to use them. 2. Have a technique for remembering some names during registration. Let them see you have a notepad for recording anything inappropriate and explain what you're doing and why. The reason is, of course, that you may need the information later when you're talking with Mr. or Mrs. Senior Leader. They have to believe you'll follow up. 3. Briefly discuss lesson objectives and make behaviour the first one. Explain that on-task behaviour and good answers and comments will be noted on the board and gain points towards a class reward. Remember, you always have your praise with you. Use it as often as possible so that you give at least 4 positives to every 1 negative. 7. Keep the focus relentlessly on the desired learning behaviour and expected progress markers. 8. Refer to the warning and minimal sanctions plan you'll be using. 9. Use the consequence or sanction or referral system mechanically and calmly. They need to see that you're even more predictable when it comes to applying sanctions. Of course, students have to learn that they are responsible and accountable for their behaviour, but it's important to remember that all student behaviour can stem from various underlying factors such as personal struggles, academic challenges, social issues, or home environments. Addressing these behaviours requires a multifaceted approach that involves understanding the individual needs of students and implementing appropriate interventions and support systems beyond the classroom. The next video in Series 1 describes how body language, scripts and movement around the class can help when asserting expectations.
Thanks for watching. Please feel free to contact us if you need help with any topic or have any feedback. We can also support INSET and projects related to any of the topics discussed in the videos. We look forward to seeing you on the next video.